Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to welcome you to the Salt Lake County Republican Party Organizing Convention. Our opening prayer this morning will be provided by Merlene Cook.
Father in heaven, we are thankful to meet as neighbors and friends of the Salt Lake County GOP Organizing Convention. We are thankful for this nation and the Constitution which we honor and defend. We know that united we stand, divided we fall. We ask for thy spirit to be with us as we strive to vote for candidates who will lead us in the spirit of unity, peace, and integrity. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Brant and Benjamin Stringham of Boy Scout Troop 1367.
Audience attention. Audience, please salute the flag of the United States of America. Please repeat the Pledge of Allegiance after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Audience may now be seated at ease.
I officially call to order this organizing convention. The agenda for today's convention has been circulated in the call and is posted on our website. The first items on our agenda today are the officer reports. The first report will be from our treasurer, Ben Morton.
Well, hello, everyone. It seems like just yesterday that we were standing before you at Cottonwood High School, and you all voted for me. I appreciate the support that I received. It's been a very eventful 2 years, but one I'm very grateful for. Before we get into the numbers, I wanted to mention that here are some options if you would like to make a donation today. As we'll see momentarily, we have done very well with our month-to-month donations and contributions, but we have not seen those same types of contributions at our larger events, mainly because maybe they've been in different formats. But here's an option if you'd like to donate today. Okay, let's get into the numbers. As we'll see, the first is our budget comparison on revenues, and you see most categories our contributions are well below what we thought we could happen. I don't know if at the time we did this budget that we expected the coronavirus issues to last as long as they did. Of note is our monthly contributions are running well ahead of the expectation. The E-Club has done very well, and we received some other contributions along the way. We did not, the convention is going on right now, so hopefully that number shows up. We thought we might have a fundraising event, but that never happened. We'll see on the next slide that we also had some budgeted expenses that didn't happen either. And then the income tax checkoff is coming through very strong at this time of year, and we do expect that $6,000 to materialize by the end of June. On expenses, our administrative expenses are running slightly ahead of budget since we're already at the budget amount, but we still have a couple months to go. Mainly that has to do with the technology issues. We thought we would be a little bit lower than what we ended up at. We did come in well under on things like committee meetings, and the convention costs are lower just because they've been all virtual. And as I mentioned before, the fundraising event, we never really had one. Regarding candidate support, there are one or two invoices that we've not yet finalized. They're in question. So that'll probably be a few $1,000s more than what we see here, even though there's no election going on, as you're aware. And here's a summary. We in an election year, we almost always run in a negative. We expected to run into a negative, and we're a little bit more than that due to the issues of, a lot of our normal fundraising events not occurring. But with all of that said, we are leaving the party in a very good condition. Over the last 2 years, we have 29,000 in cash right now, and we expect that number to grow slightly over the next 3 months. And like I said, the new leadership coming in is going to be in a very good position. So to sum up, I'd like to say that I have learned a lot over the last 2 years. I've met a great number of wonderful people along the way, and I'd like to leave 1 or 2 final thoughts. I've heard recently that it's a good idea to place your loyalty to the country and to the Constitution and not any one person. I believe it's a good idea for us to try and find room in the party for Republicans of all stripes. And as Ronald Reagan said, the person who agrees with you 80% of the time is a friend and ally, not a 20% traitor. I appreciate your trust and support these last few years. I truly enjoyed the service. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben. I particularly like the Reagan quote. Next, we will hear from our secretary, Reed Taylor.
Man, I just want to reaffirm what Ben said. It's been a hectic last couple of years, and leaving the party with 29 grand and change in the bank moving forward has been a big thing for me. I've been really proud of what I've done as secretary as far as taking away the printing costs for our credentials for every central committee meeting. And granted, due to COVID, we missed several meetings, but we had originally budgeted about $4,000 just to print the credentials. And over the past 2 years, to print our credentials, it's been under 500. And that was for the roughly, I think, 5-6 meetings that we've had in person. I hope that the next secretary will continue that on. I know it's not exactly easy, but that's a big thing that I feel like I've accomplished over the past couple of years. The party's struggling right now a little bit with, unity, I think, and how we're moving forward. And it really comes down to communication between all of us. We need to maintain being involved, maintain, really just being there for one another and being there for the party and reaching across the aisle and trying to get people to come hang out with us. And that's really what we stand for, is inclusion and not all the partisan politics, I guess. Gets a little boring, but the last 2 years have been amazing for me. I wish I could maintain this position, but I wasn't able to commit to the same level of dedication that I was previously able to do the last 2 years. With that, again, very proud of this party, very proud of everybody that I've worked with for the most part, and good luck to our upcoming election and all of our candidates. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reed. I would like to now give my report. At last year's convention, who would have expected that a year later, we would still be meeting online rather than in person? The good news, of course, is that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. As I thought about the last 2 years that we served as your officers, I was reminded of Charles Dickens' opening of A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Just before the shutdown, we sponsored a very successful Lincoln Day dinner with guest speaker Dinesh D'Souza. This was the largest fundraiser of our term, and it became even more important as we normally raise significant funds during caucus and in-person conventions, both of which, of course, were canceled. We had fantastic candidates for various county offices last year. And when all the votes were counted, Republicans won a veto-proof majority on the county council. Unfortunately, we also saw Dickens' worst of times. As most of you know, as acting chair, I issued a public apology to candidates, volunteers, and others who feel they were mistreated during their interactions with our party. In particular, to several women who have made specific complaints. Because the Salt Lake County Republican Party believes that every individual, without exception, must be treated with the utmost respect, the executive committee has created an ethics advisory committee that will work with our bylaws committee to ensure that we have policies that will prevent this from happening in the future. After today's election, we will have a central committee meeting, and at that next meeting, we will be electing Senate chairs. So there will be opportunities for more of you to get involved, representing your Senate district and being on the executive committee. Some of you are precinct chairs as well as delegates and may have attended the last CCM meeting. At that meeting, votes were taken on some proposed bylaw changes, one of which would have impacted our candidates for State Central Committee today. I want to let you know that after the CCM, our bylaws committee has advised that the votes taken at that meeting were out of order. And as a result, those bylaw changes have fallen to the floor. That is, they are not in effect and will not apply to today's candidates for the SCC. I expect those bylaw changes will be considered at a future CCM meeting. I would be remiss if I didn't thank all of you who have served as delegates for far longer than you expected. Your service to the party is greatly appreciated. Going back to Charles Dickens and The Tale of Two Cities, we have much to be proud of in our party, but there also remains much work to be done, both internally and externally. I want to thank each and every one of you for your past work on behalf of our party, and hope that you will join me and continue to volunteer to make the Salt Lake County Republican Party the very best it can be. Thank you very much. Next, we will hear from our Rules Chair, Eileen Lentz.
I'm Eileen Lentz, the Rules Chair for the 2021 Organizing Convention. The rules for the convention are listed on the convention page of the Salt Lake County Republican Party. This year, the delegates to the 2021 Salt Lake County Organizing Convention may be credentialed upon one of three criteria. They could have been elected at the previous precinct caucus on March 20, 2018. The second way is by appointment, filling a vacancy created when elected delegate has either died, resigned, moved from their residence in the precinct, is unable to serve, or has been removed for violation of party purposes. Vacancies were filled by appointment of the precinct chair or acting precinct chair in writing and filed with the party no later than 14 days prior to the convention. Any allocated delegate positions not filled at the precinct caucus level have remained unfilled. As many of you know, transparency is very important to the leadership of the Salt Lake County Party. Each candidate for office was given the opportunity to designate one poll watcher to watch and the voting happening in real time. Please refer to the convention rules if you have any questions. Thank you very much for serving and participating in this process.
We will now hear from our elections chair, Austin Fulton, who will give his report as well as the credentials report.
Thank you, Scott. For this convention, we have 1,661 delegates that will be participating and voting, that will have been sent information for the vote today. The votes today will be going through a Big Pulse. This is our software partner for voting in this convention. There will be a link sent to the email that has been provided to us as a party. That link will have all of the information on the different offices. So the offices that will be voted on are chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, and you will also be voting on up to 29 candidates for SCC. There are 59 people that have registered for the SCC. So as you look at your ballot, make sure you scroll through and look at the entire list, so you can choose the people that you want to fill those 29 spots. There is also an information line that we will be monitoring. If there are questions or problems, that number that you can call is 866-317-7663. Again, that is 866-317-7663. In the event that that is required to have a second round, you will receive an email with instructions for that. The initial email that you will receive will also indicate when the polls are opening and the closing. At 10:30 they will open, at 1 o'clock they will close. Results, we are expecting results to be posted at about 2 p.m. on the Salt Lake County GOP website. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you very much, all of you who have helped put together our convention this year. I now declare that voting is open. As Austin mentioned, it will close promptly at 1 p.m. and election results will be posted as soon as possible today on our website, SLCoGOP.com. Thank you all for participating in our convention today.